you have like the British, who are been very critical to Israel these past few years. I don't know where where it comes from, but I do believe that that they should take a little more stance and remember that they left the partition to the United Nations without any real resolve, and wars followed it, and many innocent civilians and good men died. Wives lost, husbands to fight for freedom just because of their religion. We grow up in a different world where now it just takes one button to press and a whole city can be blown up. Noam, and as an Israeli, you should really you have to look at both sides. And you were right about the education. You're right that, yes, we have to start educating our young generation about the generation in Israel that's being educated a little differently than most of the Israelis when they're being told to hate as well. There are people in Israel that there are videos that show Israelis, I'm not saying many, but there are two sides to a story where there are aggressive Israelis that are towards the Palestinians, and I know you don't you don't support it, but those type of people are slowing down the peace process as well, and a peace in the region is good for everyone. Good for oil prices, good for countries' economies to boom, good for development, for nations and job creators, for everyone, and only will prosper the people of the region, and so I think you living in that nation, you should really think hard on what you want to do as an Israeli citizen to make a difference, because you as one person could you're a new generation, I'm a new generation of thinkers. I know myself in the United States that I want to go to Washington and tell these guys to stop bickering about the fiscal cliff. We have issues with our money here in the United States. They can't get things done. So you need to, you as an Israeli should really say, listen, it's time to really settle these issues once and sit down at the bargaining table with a new generation of thinkers, of young adults who think of the world differently. I'm sure you agree,
I'm totally agree with you, Ryan. I think my biggest wish is to make sure that my children will have a place to live. And of course, they will not have to go to the army. I think this is the biggest wish of every normal Israeli. I'm not a religion man. I'm Jewish, yeah, but I'm not religion at all. I do nothing about religion. But all the time there are people, especially when I'm traveling with the world, that remind me that I'm Jewish. And it sounds bad, but sometimes I'm glad that people remind me who I am. And I will just say that I'm 27 years old, and I think that from my experience that we should not count on anybody but ourselves, and I think this is what we're doing now. We are trying not to be needful from anybody else, because history shows that nobody helped us. I think this is true.
I know, because I do believe that like I've said before, that that everyone deserves a place to live, in this world, and they deserve to live in peace and without feeling scared to exit their home. And I don't believe the United States should always be there to defend the nation, because every nation has the right to defend themselves to an extent. But it seems to me that there are many countries out in the world that are just there to blame Israel. That are just there to go to the United Nations and send out these
the United Nations
resolutions.
is irrelevant organization. I'm sorry. It's irrelevant. It's a joke. It's a big joke. Like
now,
in the human rights community, before Libya fell, Libya was a member, Syria was a member. It's a joke. In time that every 10 minutes a man killed in Syria, the resolution is against Israel. Give me a break. They are not really want to solve the solution. They are, I don't know how to not close this organization down. It's a joke. I'm sorry.
Well, I think that as this administration in the United States continues to on its new 4 years in the White House, I think you'll see that foreign policy will not really be on its major scale, a major agenda, because of what is going on in the United States. And so you'll see that there are going to be less and less U.S. involvement in Israeli politics, for the exception of Iran, because the U.S. knows that they have their own.
I'm sorry. Once again, I'm not worried about U.S. involving Israeli politics. I'm worried about Europe involving Israeli politics. One example, the Norway government gives lots of money for extreme left organization in Israel. Okay, and they are infected directly on the politics in Israel, and it's, I know in the United States it's a law against it, but here it's allowed, so it's very bad, very bad.
Yeah, I think you're right, but Israel's major partner in trade as well as in weapons design is the United States, and this may affect Israel's output on how they handle issues in the coming years. I do think that Iran is such a major issue that it's like when you cut off the top of the head or the whole body dies. They are antagonizing so many different factions around the world, supplying them with weaponry. You have to cut off the head. You have to stop them supplying weapons to so many different factions, extremist factions, and spreading these propaganda about Israel. It's a joke. In the United States, they are considered that when they come to speak in the United States, it's a joke. They are so. And I have many good friends that are Persian, and they had an opportunity to rise up against this regime. I don't know where it went, because they were for a few weeks. Iran, young generation of they were fighting against them, and I don't know what happened to them. And I know that the Israelis are keeping their eyes on them 24 hours a day, because when you have a nation that clearly says we like to wipe off Israel off the map, I would have my nation unprepared. And so you don't take that lightly when a nation who is trying to build a nuclear weapon do that. In the early 2000s, the Israeli Air Force bombed Syria. And so they never came out and said it, but it's true. And so, you have to take precautions. And so it's the same thing. Anything bad for Israel is bad for the United States, because they are our major partners in the region that will be there for terror, to fight terrorism? Where does the United States learn how to fight terrorism? Through the Israelis. And the partnerships between mayors of our cities, like Mayor Bloomberg and the mayor of San Francisco, who attend annual conferences that Israelis learn. I had friends who were in Golani in the north, and now that they are finished with their tours, they are now teaching Americans anti-terrorism tactics. Even European nations can learn from this because everyone can learn from something. I think Iran, yeah, and I think Iran their days are numbered the next. Every nation is falling. You look at Egypt, look at Tunisia, you look at all these North African nations, you look at Syria, what's going on now. It's sad to say that the UN has declared 40,000 Syrians dead. That is despicable. But I don't know what will happen. What will happen next in Syria or Iran, for that sake, because who knows if there will be that real democracy that these people so-called want. The question is, Noam, who are these fighters fighting in Syria? Are they factors from Hezbollah? There are people who are saying that Hezbollah is not really the factors that are fighting against Assad. In fact, Assad has Hezbollah fighting for him. So, I don't know what Israel thinks of this. You should enlighten me what Israel thinks Israel should do with the new regime.
First of all, Iran is a proof that this conflict is not about the land. Okay? But we will put aside this topic because it's a very big subject. And about Syria. In Israel, we are very, very, very concerned what's going on over there. It can affect us very hard and very directly. In the new regime that go over there, if Assad fall or not fall. Some parliament members said we have the best peace with Syria because it was quiet over there from the last war we had with them. I'm not agree. I want to someday go to Damascus and eat hummus or something. I don't know. About the rebels over there that trying to take over the country. I tell the truth, I didn't think about it. I think there are, look, the situation over there, lots of people that are not related to the Assad family are living a terrible life. I don't think I'm talking about education, talking about food, I'm talking about living the life. And I think they just have enough. After 2 generations of dictators, they have enough. I think it's a very, very the simple people from the street. But I don't know how they get all the weapons because they have a lot of weapons. And not only Kalashnikovs, they have all kinds of weapons. I don't know where they're getting from. I really don't know. And I really hope it's not a Muslim Brotherhood thing. I really hope so.
No, I mean, I hope that that Syria really looks to what is going on in Egypt and how the backward track of dealing with with their constitution and handing more power to I just think that this is such a great opportunity and a great time to forge new friendships and to change history. And because I'm going to leave in a few minutes, but I want to leave on a note that Israel can really be a great partner to work with in that region because they have such good ability. They're at a stage now where they're transforming to boost a larger economy. I mean, if you look at it, the Israelis didn't really suffer a large. Every other nation suffered so much compared to what Israel suffered in the sense of the economic recession in the world, the global recession. And I think Israel's making a good change in that sense that could help, other nations like Syria, especially since the country is destroyed after this entire revolution. But with the history that Israel has gone through, Israel will always stand guard. They will always be on guard, and that's okay. And do I believe that they should live like that? No, but they can stand on guard, but they can also come to the table to forge new friendships. And I know you are different than many other Israelis probably are thinking, just as I am different from many other Americans are thinking of what should happen. But I think that that they can. I don't know if they're going to create a Sharia law or if they're going to do all these religious areas in this new government. But the first thing is Assad needs to leave. That's what needs to happen before we go any further than talking about a new constitution. But this is a great opportunity for the Middle East. Especially in Syria. I don't know what will happen with Lebanon. I don't know what will happen with Iran in the next year. But I know that Israel is always cooking up some type of preparations just in case for to make sure their citizens are safe.
This is a government job to do so.
And I think that using these tools like video conversations to express my views as an American, just as you express yours as an Israeli, we shared similar values, and the use of technology has changed from years and years ago. I mean, they didn't have like this technology.
The world getting smaller and smaller.
Exactly, and now I can talk to you who are thousands and thousands of miles away without having to get on an El Al flight and head to Israel. But I think that this opportunity for a young generation, because the Middle East has a generation gap where maybe over 50% of their population are of the age of 35 and under, and that's a young generation. So that can express themselves through video, through emails, to express how they feel. And me as an American, I only want the world to be a safer place for my my generation and my kids' generation. And many people don't realize that Israel will last to the end of times, as what the Bible, I guess, has said. So, we'll leave it at that, I guess.
It was very nice to meet you, Ryan.
Yes, and I hope we can talk more in the future about these issues, and we can expand on having different perspectives from other.
What did you do? What did you do in Israel? You said you visited Israel.
Yeah, I was in Israel a few years ago, and it was a great experience. We traveled around the area from the north.
It was a program or something, or just traveling?
Yeah, it was a program, but I enjoyed all the history because it wasn't just Jewish history; it was Christianity history and Muslims, and I was watching this special the other day on an American television that states that all religions, Christianity and Muslims and Jews, all ascend back to the point of Abraham, and anything from him, and it branches off into different sectors of religion, religious belief. From there, everything before him, we all believe the same. So for me, I believe that we're all related in one. I have many Muslim friends who believe that we're cousins, and the religion has really hurt any process in peace. I mean, I love going to Israel and going to the church in Jerusalem, and I love going to see the Western Wall and seeing that years and years of history. Terrible. You would have given up on this fighting already, but with new technology and new weaponry, it just makes it harder to stop that. Have you been to the United States, Tom?
No, not yet, but I will. I think I will finish school, and the first thing I will do is go to travel in the US.
When did you finish? What division in the Army were you? In the military? What area in the military? What brigade or what? I just know a lot because I had friends. Yeah. But there's a movie coming out. Yeah, well, there's a movie coming out in the United States that's called, I'll get it to you right now, it's about Shin Bet.
It's about what?
Here, and Shin Bet.
Shabbat?
It's a Shin Bet, Shin Bet, it's the military intelligence organization.
Shin Bet?
Yeah, it's called The Gatekeeper. I'll post it for you. But I do agree with Barry. I do agree that that Russia and China support for Israel. It slows down any peace process, and they know it. But they have too many assets and in the region. Like I said before, that Russia should feel embarrassed the way they've handled themselves in the UN. The only asset is not oil, Max. The asset is selling weapons to the region. They make a lot of money selling weapons to the Assad region, to the regime, and it's not all about oil. But they have a lot of interest in the region, not just oil. But as China grows as an economic powerhouse, we need to really step back and say to ourselves, how long can we allow these countries to stop to prevent any future democracy in the region? That's what it seems like to me, is they're preventing any future for these young generations. Did you see that? Did you see that trailer?
I see part of it because I can't hear it because I'm listening to you.
Well, I'm going to leave, but watch that video. It was in the Tribeca Film Festival last year, I think. The New York Film Festival. Sorry, it was. I think it was in Sundance. They won a lot of awards. It's not out yet, but it seems to be a great documentary about life as an Israeli and the reason why they have to defend themselves. I appreciate it. It was nice meeting you, and good luck.
You too, Ryan. Hope to see you again.
Thank you.